Hello, Morongo Basin, and listeners around the world online at Z107.7 FM.com. Here is the Z107.7 Local News for Monday, August 17th, 2026. A man allegedly impersonating an armed law enforcement officer at a local school was arrested after the school was put on lockdown. On Wednesday at around 1:40 p.m., San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies received a report from a parent that a man was putting on tactical gear while on campus at 29 Palms Junior High School, located at 5798 Utah Trail. School Resources Officer Deputies A. Stumbo and E. Sanchez Perez reviewed surveillance footage and identified the suspect as Robert Rosado, a 29-year-old resident of 29 Palms. Their review of video footage determined that Rosado was at the school on August 11th as well, and they determined he was wearing a tactical-style ballistic vest, a law enforcement duty belt, baton, pepper spray, and a firearm. A warrant was issued for his arrest, but prior to their contact with Rosado, deputies say he returned to 29 Palms Junior High School on Thursday at around noon. They say he was wearing the same equipment. Deputies say that school staff refused access, immediately notified deputies, and placed the school on lockdown as a precaution to protect students and staff. They say Rosado left the area in a minivan. Morongo Basin Station deputies and detectives say they located his vehicle and conducted a high-risk traffic stop, during which Rosado was detained. Deputies say a search of Rosado's vehicle resulted in the seizure of numerous items consistent with the impersonation of a law enforcement officer, including a load-bearing vest equipped with an attached body-worn camera, baton, pepper spray, handcuffs, a taser badge, and a less lethal firearm. Deputies also served a search warrant at Rosado's residence, where they say they discovered 3 juveniles residing in the home with Rosado's girlfriend. During the search, deputies say they found the residence to be in extremely unsanitary and deplorable condition, along with an insect infestation. A willful child endangerment investigation was initiated, and Child and Family Services social workers responded to the scene. Robert Rosado was arrested on suspicion of bringing a firearm to a school and carrying concealed weapons. He is being held at the West Valley Detention Center on $30,000 bail. A man was arrested in 29 Palms for investigation into false imprisonment, animal cruelty, preventing a witness from making a report, and resisting arrest. On Monday at around 2:30 p.m., San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies responded to a report of domestic violence in the 6300 block of Yucca Avenue in 29 Palms. Deputies received a 911 call from a friend of the victim who they say intervened and called the Sheriff's Department. Deputies identified the suspect as Nathaniel Atherley, 23, and say that he threatened to kill the victim, who was identified as Atherley's girlfriend. Deputies say that Atherley grabbed the victim by her neck and threw her into a bathroom at the home, then locked her inside. Deputies say that after assaulting the victim, he grabbed a cat at the home and squeezed its mouth, causing injury to the cat's tongue. Deputies say that they arrived at the home during the assault and that Atherley began to physically fight with deputies. Atherley was eventually taken into custody. The Sheriff's Department did not provide information about whether the victim was treated for injuries. One deputy reported a minor injury to his hand. The cat was checked by animal control. Nathaniel Atherley was arrested on suspicion of false imprisonment, domestic violence, making criminal threats, preventing a witness from reporting a crime, animal cruelty, and resisting arrest. He is being held at the West Valley Detention Center on $100,000 bail. The San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors meets in regular session tomorrow. The Board of Supervisors will hold a public hearing on their continued revisions to mining approvals within the county. The county's report describes the changes to mining approvals as an update to legislation that has been in place since 2007. In July, the County Planning Commission held a public hearing on the changes. The day after that hearing, San Bernardino County Supervisor Dawn Rao was the guest on the Z107.7 Up Close show. She described the changes to county policy as...
My understanding of what happened yesterday is I call it SMARA. It is the California Surface Mining and Reclamation Act. And not shocking to me, but the county's was pretty outdated, and state law has evolved since I believe it was 2007 when ours was last updated.
So the two sets of laws aren't talking the same language?
They're not.
Yes.
And so yesterday's action had nothing to do with any specific mine in general at all.
Okay.
It is the county bringing their development code as it relates to mining into state compliance with that California Surface and Mining Reclamation Act. So the state has updated their standards and their regulatory framework. And what we did, the Planning Commission did yesterday, was they adopted everything that the state now requires of our mining department to be in compliance with the state.
Critics of the updated policy say that the removal of approvals will make it easier for mining companies to impact fragile ecosystems. In a newsletter, the Morongo Basin Conservation Association said, quote, "The proposed change would remove the county from the permitting of mining operations that obtain a federally approved plan of operation or authorization. The proposed bypassing of county permits would remove strict local California Environmental Quality Act reviews, public notices, and local oversight." Dateline Resources, an Australian mining company, has staked a 20,000-acre claim outside of 29 Palms, north of Joshua Tree National Park. The county's reconsideration of mining approval procedure has stoked concerns about this mining project and others in protected desert areas. Also on the agenda for the County Board of Supervisors, they are expected to approve a construction bid for approximately $3.5 million for improvements to Sunburst Park and Joshua Tree. The funds will primarily fund a new playground, enhanced lighting and landscaping, and ADA access improvements for the park. The contract is expected to be awarded to Three Peaks Corporation, and there is a 6-month target date for completion. As part of their memorial adjournments, the Board of Supervisors will recognize Jackie the Eagle, the 14-year-old bald eagle that became a fixture of Big Bear Lake. Jackie passed away from an unknown illness on August 10th. The San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors meets on Tuesday at their chambers at 385 North Arrowhead Avenue in San Bernardino to participate online. You can find a link in this story at Z107.7fm.com. The Yucca Valley Town Council meet in regular session tomorrow. Online news editor Robert Hayden has a look at their agenda.
The Yucca Valley Town Council returned to the Choya Room in the Community Center this Tuesday at 5 o'clock for their regularly scheduled meeting. On the agenda, recognition of the Tri-Valley Little League Senior Division Softball All-Stars, who are the 2026 Southern California State Champs. Tucked into the consent agenda, a withdrawal of a construction contract with Deem House, LLC, for failing to return the signed construction agreement for a $36,000 plumbing job at the High Desert Nature Museum. In department reports, an update on OHV safety, as well as an update from the new Community Engagement and Homeless Services Program. And elections for the town council are coming up. With only one of the 3 council member seats facing a challenger, the town council will consider canceling the general municipal elections for districts 1 and 3, as Jim Schooler and Merle Abel are the only candidates running. In District 5, Councilmember Rick Dennison will face local business owner Dion Antic. Those updates and more, along with the opportunity for your public comments, all happening Tuesday beginning at 5 p.m. at the Yucca Valley Community Center. You can see the full agenda and remote meeting instructions at this story on our website, Z107.7fm.com. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Robert Hayden.
The 29 Palms Planning Commission will hold public hearings to consider declaring various properties in 29 Palms a public nuisance. With more, here's Annalise Kuiper.
After 3 consecutive Planning Commission meetings were cancelled in July and August, this meeting will consist mainly of public hearings regarding several properties in 29 Palms. The Nixware Cafe, located at 73339 29 Palms Highway in 29 Palms, has applied for a change of use to the conditional use permit to that of a cafe with workspace, hosting events, and on-sale general type 4/7 alcoholic beverage sales. The Commission is asked to approve the CEQA exemption and conditional use permit and recommend a finding of public convenience or necessity to the City Council, subject to the conditions of approval. The Commission will consider removing property on 2 Mile Road from the public nuisance hearing, as the owners are now in compliance and the property has been cleared. 4 separate properties on Raymond Way, Sunny Slope Drive, Manzanita Drive, and Abronia Avenue will be considered for declaration as public nuisance and dangerous buildings. The residential structures on 3 of these properties were destroyed by fire, while the one on Raymond Way is an illegal dumping area with an absentee owner. If declared a public nuisance, the owners of these properties must begin clean-up and demolition on their place within 45 days of the notice of violation, or the city can take steps to hire a separate contractor to do the work. Should the bill for this work not be paid by the owner within the time frame stipulated, a council resolution would order all abatement costs to be assessed against the property as a special tax. Following the public hearings, the Community Development Director will share his updates. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Annalise Kuiper.
And finally, Lego Robotics returns to 29 Palms. Registration is now open for the City of 29 Palms Parks and Recreation Department's Legomation Science Program. The 4-week hands-on robotics and engineering class invites young participants ages 5 through 10 to step into the role of mechanical engineers. Kids will learn the foundations of engineering, robotics, and coding, working with a partner and using a computer. Each child will build their own motorized robot, and it's a make-and-take program. Children will take home their Lego creation at the conclusion of the last class. Classes are on Saturdays in September. Each class is $20. You can pay $80 for the full program. For more details and a link to sign up, see this story at Z107.7fm.com. That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. If you hear about news happening, let us know. Email us at tips@z1077fm.com. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z107.7 Local News, I'm News Director Jeff Harmatz.